Françoise Viglietti is a professional painter and artist whose career spans over 3 decades. Now, you are just such a professional when it comes to everything you do, and I mean, the art speaks for itself, really. So, Françoise, if I were to just touch base with you, who are you as a person and an artist?
I started painting when I was 2 years old. My mother used to put us on the floor with paints, and my sisters and brothers all paint, but not professionally. We're just all artistic children. And my mother actually wanted us to do more academics, but we all ended up being artists and cooks, and that's what we do as a living. All of us are now in the arts.
And everyone seems creative within your family.
All of us.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
so strange.
I can only imagine, though, having a mother like yours and having such creative and expressive children, it must have been a riot in that household.
Yes, it was.
When I speak to you, you know, there's just a sincerity about you. There's also just almost a deep knowing within the spiritual realm. Is that very important when it comes to you painting, connecting to yourself and just the world, I suppose, as African, as you know, the nature that you paint?
Yes, I use my art as a way of creating a sort of spiritual world, and I use my painting as a spiritual tool, as a way of healing for people and myself. I use it in society, and that is what I do, yes.
So how are you able to then translate everything you do within your painting, from the sunrises to the sunsets and the beautiful African inspiration, whether it's the figures that you also draw? I mean, what's that all about? And also then, how then can that empower the next person within their own lives, maybe someone who's going through depression?
Well, what I do is I often let children or even women work with me, and I help them create whatever they're feeling, put it out onto the canvases. And that is what I do. I even did it for myself when I was going through depression. I painted what I felt and let that all come out onto the canvases.
Is that like a way of
translate?
Therapy?
It's kind of a therapy, yes.
Yeah, I love that. Well, can you speak us through any of your paintings right now, the ones that we have in front of us?
Well, I've traveled quite extensively into the continent, and I've met so many beautiful people, beautiful colors, a lot of Maasai, the Himba people. Wherever I travel, I meet lovely people, and they are so vibrant and lovely. And then I paint the culture wherever I am, and I love nature. I connect deeply with nature, and the sunrises, sunsets, reflections of light. I love water. I love sunsets and everything that's beautiful, natural and beautiful. It heals the soul. Anything that heals the soul, going back to nature, it just heals. You know, people are going through a very hard time at the moment, and art is a way of healing and connecting to our desire and healing ourselves, going back to something we can do with our hands, going back to the earth, going back to what's natural, filling our souls with beauty, filling our souls with the beauty where God's created. It heals the soul. Yeah. You know.
Well, I definitely applaud you and everything that you've accomplished within your 30 years painting. I mean, it's definitely something to remark. And I'm so sure that so many young South Africans out there who also love painting, drawing, or even photography, any form of expression, definitely can follow these footsteps, because essentially what we're doing is putting South African creatives on the map and showing how you can show your talent globally. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is one of the most fun and inspiring ways to celebrate our beautiful and diverse continent. Thank you so much to Françoise for coming into studio and sharing your incredible talents with us.
Made with love by Clover.
I get to me, can you believe Valentine's Day has come and gone? Just like that.
Yeah, Bong, I mean, because some of us are single, so I was looking at people being all loved up, and I was like, can y'all finish already? Can y'all get it done so we can get back to normal? I'm not a hater, but just say.
So if we were to say and talk about your V-Day experience, can we say it was #blissful?
It still was blissful because I love myself, and I love how to celebrate self-love. Remember, we had that moment where we were speaking to therapists about how to celebrate self-love. So I did enjoy a lot of that.
Hi, Mina. I'm definitely looking forward to see what this next couple and how they were able to celebrate their #Bliss V-Day experience.
Well, Palesa, as we wrap up the month of love, the idea of a simple night out can be transformed into the ultimate experience with a touch of luxurious indulgence. Everything Bliss stands for. One lucky pair, Robin and her partner Diego, were the winners of the ultimate #Bliss V-Day experience. From being chauffeured in a luxury vehicle to being wined and dined by a personal chef and a magical movie night experience, Clover Bliss gave the couple an experience like never before in true Bliss fashion. Now let's see what went down.
It's actually quite a surprise to win this amazing Bliss Day experience because I only entered on Thursday and then he phoned me and told me that we won on Thursday. I didn't really know what I was going to win, but I assumed because it's like through Clover and everything, it would have been a cool gift and I would appreciate it whether it was just like something small or something big like this. It was like, it's going to be cool anyway. I've never won anything before. My favorite thing about him is probably that he's very easygoing, playful, childish, makes lots of silly jokes.
My favorite thing about Robin would be that she cares a lot. Like if I can be having a shower and then she'll just come randomly like, let me just wash your back for you. But it's actually quite cute as well, the fact that she cares so much.
So in one word, mind-blowing, perfect. It's been like an experience. It was set up so cute with the rose petals on the floor, the champagne outside. It was really sweet. The hot tub was going already.
The best thing about the villa for me is number one, the jacuzzi. Yeah, what else could a man ask for?
It's been really cool to like just have someone just come like, oh, you're gonna do your makeup now, and then you go do your makeup and then someone comes and fetches you to go for supper and then they wait on you.
And everything's like...
And they're very friendly.
When it comes to the dinner experience, for me it was fantastic. Like from the starters to the mains, there's not one thing I'll complain about. The mains was the top of the evening though. The lamb was amazing.
I didn't know anything up until it was happening. And then getting the necklace on top of it was like just the cherry on top. Made it extra special.
Out of all the experiences, for me personally, the movie is the best because it's a more personal thing to do with your partner.
Yeah, it's definitely the most intimate time when you're alone and you're watching the movie, cuddle.
Yeah, the particular movie we picked this evening to watch, we picked it because we've attempted to watch it before and we've fallen asleep in the first 5 minutes of it. So we're going to give it a second go and let's hope it turns out better tonight.
Hopefully we get to at least more than 5 minutes.
I'm pushing for 7.
Well, the movie ended off with us having to go back to the room before it ended because somebody fell asleep. But we got further than what we did the last time we tried to watch it, so...
No, I actually fell asleep at the same point. Just doesn't know that.
For me, the breakfast was the highlight. I'm a breakfast person.
For me, the best part of breakfast was the place where we ate breakfast at the swimming pools. The atmosphere was perfect.
It was very special. Everything was so personalized. It was like you guys knew what I liked. So that was really great.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Clover Bliss. Thank you for the hotel for accommodating us. And thank you to everyone that's made it possible. We really appreciate each and every little part of it.
A thank you to Clover Bliss would be an understatement. This has been a magical weekend. It's been very special. We've been accommodated so wonderfully and we've had a really good time. So thank you. We are very grateful and it's been amazing.
Oh, do me! #Bay vibes.
Okay. I take it back. That looks like it was such a beautiful experience, Balesa.
Yeah.
So whatever future Bay that watched that and wants to Bay vibe me, holler at a girl.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I love that. Shout out to you, Robin and Diego. Celebrating all that love.
Well, if you are feeling left out, worry not, because you still stand a chance to win more VIP experiences with Clover Bliss coming to you soon.
Made with love by Clover.
Yesterday, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni read out the that annual national budget speech for the year ahead. Joining us now to get into the crux of the matter is one of FNB's senior economists, Siphamandla Mkwanazi. Siphamandla, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, what are the implications of the budget speech on SA's current economic landscape?
The budget was better than initially feared. This is on the back of a speedier recovery in economic activity. We saw towards the end of last year that the pickup in economic growth really accelerated, and we saw very strong commodity prices, which helped our revenue collection. And as a result of that, our revenue shortfall was not as bad as initially feared. Going ahead, however, we did see some positives, particularly from a consumer perspective, in that, number one, the tax burden is going to be slightly reduced. We saw that the tax brackets were increased by above inflation, which means effectively consumers are going to be paying less taxes. However, some of that is going to be counteracted by the increase in sin taxes. So for products such as cigarettes and beer, we did see some increase in that. But overall, it was a consumer positive budget in that tax burden slightly reduced.
Now, are there alternative solutions that the government can consider to rebuild this economy?
There definitely are solutions. I mean, those have been spoken about for quite a while. Where we are lacking right now is on implementation. It's interventions such as solving the energy crisis, which we have been speaking about for quite a while. It's issues such as solving the bottlenecks around our railway networks, so that we are able to take advantage of the upcoming Africa Free Trade Agreement. Because without that infrastructure, we will never be able to fully take advantage of this Free Africa Trade Agreement. And also, we are seeing very strong commodity prices, similar to what we saw around 2007, 2008. And without that infrastructure, without rail infrastructure, we won't be able to get those commodities to the ports, and we trade with the rest of the world. So there are some interventions that the government can fast track so that we are able to speedily recover from where we are.
Absolutely. But then now, Siphamandla, are you able to help me understand and briefly unpack the analysis of SA's ratio of debt to GDP?
Yes. So if you think back to October, the minister tabled a trajectory that peaks at around 95% of GDP. So our debt stock would be 95% of the size of our GDP. Now, with the better than expected revenue collection, which I outlined in my opening remark, it means now that our borrowing requirements have been lowered. So we don't have to go out and borrow to the extent that we thought we would. So as a result of that, our debt to GDP now peaks at around 89% compared to 95% that was tabled in October. So yes, still elevated, but better than what was presented in October last year.
Understood, sir. But then in terms of SA's growth expectations then, do you think that we should anticipate for further credit rating downgrades?
With the better than expected revenue collection and debt trajectory that we have just outlined, our view is that we were able to buy ourselves a bit of time. So we did kick the can down the road. We're not going to see immediate downgrades. However, looking at the long-term growth trajectory, it is still a cause for concern. If you look at the Treasury's numbers specifically, which in our assessment are still on the optimistic side, we do see that growth tapers off in the outer years, which is a bit of a concern because those growth numbers projected there are still below population growth. And it means therefore that on average, South Africans would continue to theoretically become poorer. And that is a negative for ratings agencies in the long term. But in the short term, I think we did buy ourselves time.
Understood. I really appreciate this conversation because essentially you're taking in a higher grade conversation and making it more relatable and accessible to us as South Africans. We appreciate it, Siphamandla.
It's a pleasure.
Now we thank Siphamandla Mkwanazi, one of FNB's senior economists, for joining us on the show and helping us shed some light on yesterday's national budget speech, which I'm sure all of our viewers are truly grateful for. Native Child is a 100% plant-based natural hair and body care brand targeted towards women of ethnic hair and skin. Joining us now in studio is Sonto Powe, the founder and CEO of The Native Child, as we learn all about her amazing story. Sonto Siswam, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. What an honor.
Yeah, no, it's an honor for us because, girl, the time is now for us to embrace our natural hair and the textures, the different types of textures we can come across.
Correct.
So if we were to just get back to the beginning of your story, I believe you say, Uguti, your journey within The Native Child started at a very young age. So how did your beginning years equip you and power you to be the entrepreneur you are today?
So yeah, you're right. Native Child for me is not an idea that just popped up into my head 5 years ago. It's been part and parcel of my own personal journey, my own frustrations when it came to products that kind of felt like were suited for my own needs and they weren't there. I know particularly as a child, there's an incident which kind of, I think was the beginning of this journey. You know, when your hair is tight, is plaited too tight, and I thought, there's no ways I will have this ever again. I will, from now onwards, I will do my own hair, and that was me as an 8-year-old. The love-hate relationship I had with my hair started then.
You know, sometimes you have to be pushed to your ultimate in order to be to be the change, even if it is at 8 years old.
Yeah.
So then, girl, Sonto, you started doing your own hair. You started doing the hair of the people around you, people in your community. Now,
Correct.
that entrepreneurial spirit, where did it start? And of course, equip you to being the entrepreneur and the boss bae you are today?
Well, I guess it was a combination of two things. You know, when you're the resident hairdresser,
Go to.
everyone at home, I mean, I wasn't paid for it at first. If you needed your hair done, I did. I didn't mind. I was a child, but once I was like a teenager, I was like, you know what? I also want my extra money. You know, weekends I would then, you know, schedule people in once I'm done with my homework and assignments, and that's how I became an entrepreneur. And even beyond hair, I taught myself how to sew. I was sewing shorts and T-shirts and selling them at school. So being an entrepreneur for me really started as a teenager.
So clearly a woman of many talents. I mean, Tina Siktatela, but it just goes so much deeper, so much so that you studied and you went and pursued a career in quantity surveillance.
Yes.
Then you decided to have a change of heart.
Yeah.
That birthed Native Child. So tell us about that change within you.
I think like most people, we follow suggestions of other people. We haven't, you know, found our own path. Because I could do many things, because I had experimented as a teenager and I love maths, I felt like, okay, when that suggestion was thrown at me by a maths teacher, I thought, oh, okay, I'll go research and find out about it and do it. It has money, I'm there. And so that's how I got into quantity surveying.
I love that. It's got money, I'm there.
Yeah. And once I qualified, I started working. The environment was just, you know, I loved the work itself, but I felt like the male-dominated part of it and how the interaction between the males in construction with women, it just really was not a right fit for me. So then I went back to, I thought, you know what? I know what I love. Let me go back to my original love, which is hair. I then left that, went back full-time into school and studied cosmetic science, and that's where Native Child was birthed.
That's very interesting to me because a lot of people do say that sometimes it takes uncomfortable situations to be the springboard for you to change and go in the intended direction within your purpose. I love the fact that you took something that wasn't conducive to your own personal growth and you changed it. You changed the trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
So let's get into the brand, The Native Child. I mean, tell us all about it. And of course, some of its focuses that it hopes or has already achieved.
I think you've already touched on it. So Native Child, really, I am my own customer. So it's a brand that caters for people who don't necessarily want to use chemicals on their hair, who want to be able to nourish and let their own natural hair grow. And for me, I think it was important to go the route, because there are many other brands that cater for natural hair, but the brands itself, meaning the raw materials, the core of the brand, is not chemical free, is not natural. So for me, that was important. important because, again, it came from my own experience. I was just one of those kids who reacted to everything. When I ate this, I got stomach cramps.
Yeah.
When I put this on, I got a rash. When I did that. So for me, I think it was really important to create a brand that was as clean as possible.
Natural raw ingredients is what it's all about. And it seems like a lot of people are going within that direction.
Yes.
I know myself as well. I used to relax my hair, chemical perming, and to the point where in 2015 I decided I'm doing the big chop. I chopped it all off. I know Sonto said that with me because so many women feel it. That big chop is a thing.
It is.
Not only is taking the jump and the leap of doing the big chop and growing natural hair from scratch, but also just taking a leap within the space that you want to, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're creating any type of passion. I know today on the show we're speaking to other creatives as well. So for the young girl or boy out there who's sitting around, who wants that encouragement and that motivation, what do you have to say to them?
Go for it. I mean, you have absolutely nothing to lose. I think your greatest regrets are not the things that you did and you failed at, but it's the things that you didn't do. So really, you have to just go for it. And I know it's overwhelming at the beginning because I've gone through that, where it just seems like such a big dream and completely unattainable. But if you literally take it a day at a time, you are able to achieve.
Oh, thank you. She just made it seem so simple. But of course, if we were to see you as a mentor and as a leader, it is possible. Thank you so much, Sonto. Really appreciate you bringing our froze to life.
Thank you.
Now, what a remarkable story the one of Sonto Bowe and Native Child is. A woman who used all of her skills and research to create a product that would not only benefit her target market, but represents them as well.
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Last week, one of our country's most prolific and elegant fashion designers, Osilo Modupi, the creative genius behind Kalo Fashion House, had his latest collection displayed at the New York Fashion Week for the first time in his illustrious career. He joins me now via Zoom to tell us all about it. Silo, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Now, let me just congratulate you for representing South Africa at the Emerge Fashion Show at last week's New York Fashion Week. Now, what was your first response when you got that phone call asking you to showcase your latest collection at this event?
You can just imagine, especially under this pandemic, getting that response that they actually selecting you to come and showcase in New York. And this show was actually during New York Fashion Week. So it was quite exciting, eh? And for me as a child from South Africa, it's a big opportunity. And I just wanted to get into it and just represent.
No, listen, you did so well. You definitely put us on the map. Kodwa ke Silo, this is not your first time doing a fashion show for an international fashion platform. So how did your past experiences prepare you for the showcase?
From my first fashion week when I was graduating at Africa Fashion International, I had to learn a lot in terms of backstage, models, producers. So that actually geared me up for this international showcase. And my first one was actually in Italy. I got to represent our country there. So I got to learn a lot of things. I already knew the basics, but in terms of the clientele that is there, the market, and how do people adapt to certain fabrics that we have in our country, had to contribute a lot as well.
Now let's get into the collection itself and the fashion that you showcased at the Emerge Fashion Show at the New York Fashion Week. What inspired this creative mind for this collection?
Okay, with this collection, I just felt America. Let's go South Africa. So I themed the collection the Rainbow Nation, which is a representation of our country. So I just wanted to tell a story about where we come from and where we are as a nation. So hence, that's why I chose the Constitutional Hill to be my location for my shoot, which is a raw history of our country. Nelson Mandela was in prison there, Winnie Mandela was in prison there. So my woman who I've dressed in the show is a very strong and confident person. So I wanted to evoke that through the inspiration and the clothing. Yeah.
Now, I also want to get your opinion on global and virtual showcasing of these fashion shows and fashion weeks due to the global pandemic. It's completely changed the way we view the fashion industry globally, but also at the same time, it's unified us within the global fashion industry, and it's given more unrecognized designers more of a universal platform. So what are your thoughts on all of this?
So as creatives, we have to create. We have to come up with new ideas to show the nation that we are still alive, we're still kicking, we're still here. For me, I'm more of a storytelling person, more of putting together, presentations. So it works well with me because of that. But then I just feel that that's where we headed actually as a creative space, the virtual route, and
But something that we've also seen you do is the type of body that you dress. You're able to almost dress every kind of woman. I mean, our current Miss SA second runner-up, the beautiful Natasha, wore one of your designs for the Miss SA pageant just last year. So what was the inspiration behind this dress that I loved so much? And of course, is there any chance that you'll be dressing her as she represents us at the next Miss Universe pageant?
Okay, first time when I saw Natasha, I just thought beautiful. Yeah. So I wanted to create this beautiful goddess. She's the queen of the forest kind of vibe. She's actually literally a queen. Hence, I had to embellish the dress from scratch. Every beat on that dress was handmade, was hand put. So in terms of showing her sexy body, the skin tone, blending in well with the color of the dress. And in terms of Miss Universe, hopefully we'll get it, but I do believe that it's an opportunity. It's a big opportunity actually, because we did very well on her Miss SA dress. So if Miss Universe comes up as well, we'll kill it, because it's all about representing the country to the rest of the world.
Absolutely. Now, before we let you go, I just have to ask you one question. For some of our young designers out there that want to take their South African designs onto the global stage, how can they do that? What words of encouragement do you have for them?
For me, the only thing is stick to yourself, be you, don't try to copy anybody else. Be authentic. That's what they're looking for. When you go overseas, they're looking for that one thing that is different from anybody else. And always strive to work hard, never give up. Try to find the right people to help you, to channel you in the right direction.
Wow.
Because you need the connections to actually make it anywhere in this life. So yeah, I think that would be my advice for everyone.
Beautifully said from such an incredibly creative individual. Thank you so much, Silo, for touching base with us here on Afternoon Express. Goodbye.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Now, how proud are we as the Rainbow Nation? We are as proud as can be, knowing that one of our most prolific fashion designers, Silo Modipe, is paving the way on influencing South African fashion on an international level.
Palesa, I know you've got Silo's contact number, so can you just arrange for, because I mean, we've dressed Natasha. I feel like I'm the next beauty queen here, so I need to be dressed ahead of time before.
Well, Dumi, I guess you and I are going to be battling it out, or of course we can be winning in the same outfit, because I definitely need Usilo to dress me too. But you know what, Dumi, I did promise more dancing, so you know what I'm going to do after the break, Rick.
I don't think that's the kind of dancing we'll be doing, but anyway.
Well, we have got the United Township dancers coming up.
Express yourself.
back to Afternoon Express with obviously our superstar dancers. Here to present you with another piece from their incredible routine. This is the United Township Dancers. Take it away, guys.
Wow, I'm already sweating just from being a bystander and just watching from this side, Balesa. Puti, that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
And you know what I love about dancing? It's not a spectator sport. You can't just listen and watch. You also have to move a little something. So besides dancing, Putwam, I know that you're already skilling your dancers. Baya dance, are they very disciplined from what we can see? What else do you want them to take away from working with you?
They must learn how to listen. Yes, because listening is a skill. So with that skill, they can go anywhere, you understand, because you won't miss anything, you understand. So I'm teaching them how, first thing, when they start in dance school, I tell them that, guys, if you can listen, then so right, you understand. And so like naturally, dance gives you discipline, so they learn discipline, to respect their body, you understand, that to respect the others, you understand. But first thing is, okay, you have to respect yourself so that you can respect them. You can't respect respect you, understand. So you have to take care of yourself, you understand. So I'm teaching them that even if it's out of dance land, you understand, but you have to, on this principle, must take them everywhere you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And talk about taking things everywhere you go. You've got dancers represented from Kukuletu. Already right now you are positioned Ekayelicha. So where else would you love to see your dance group going?
In Fisoyam is to have dance schools or dance studios in South Africa, like in different provinces, you understand? Because I believe this is a skill now, so it's different. You understand? Hence, this is in the mover, something that is beyond just being a dancer. You understand? Because I connect with these kids spiritually. You understand? So I would love to have dance studios all over South Africa. You understand? Yeah.
And I think that's what I love especially about this, the fact that you are not just teaching the art of dance, but the art of life in general, because all of the skills you're teaching these children, from discipline, listening, that's something that if a lot of us had learned at an earlier age, it would have made so much of a difference as an adult. So that I love the fact that you're encompassing the whole spectrum of the youth and not just the physical part of dancing, which is quite admirable.
I love that. And you've already touched on the fact that Siakbeza go Stone Move Galela. I mean, break that down for us.
Okay, so Stone is just a name that I got from primary school. It was meant by Stony. They used to call me Stony.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was given this name by a friend of mine at primary school. And then Move, I am a mover, you understand? And then Galela, it's my surname. So it's Stone Move Galela.
I love that. Well, from Stone Move Galela, us on Afternoon Express, and a huge shout out to you, Dumza. Thank you so much, Mzansi. It is a Thursday, but we've got another jam-packed show for you tomorrow, our last show of the week. I can't believe we're already here. But from us here on Afternoon Express City, Siyabulela, good night, stay safe, and happy eating. Goodbye.
Every love story is beautiful. Celebrate the month of love with your family favorites. Made with Love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.